Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. We've got another new launch from Maybelline. Yes, more drugstore products are coming our way. So I wanted to kind of give you my thoughts and show you the demos, the swatches of these new products from Maybelline. So if you want to see how this turns out and what my thoughts are on this new launch, then just continue watching. The new launch from Maybelline, the Sunkisser blush formula, but in a matte finish. And I'm here for it because I love a good matte blush. And we've seen this packaging before. If you are familiar with the first launch of the Sunkisser blushes, these original ones have the sheen and shimmer to them. Same packaging, they're just a little bit different in tone as far as the cap, but the writing, the font, everything is the same. So for you to be able to know the difference, it's going to say matte on the cross top here, but the actual cap itself is kind of like a corally orange on the matte, and then here is going to be kind of like a more golden-y bronze cap for the shimmer one. So I kind of wanted to point that out. Whoopsies. Point that out so if you see these kind of together in a display, you kind of know what the differences are. So these new colors, there are 6 in total that were on the Target website, and there are in stores at Target. I don't know about other drugstores yet. This is brand new, and I am shocked that I was actually able to get my hands on all the shades that I wanted. So I have 4 of them, shades 30, 31, 32, and 33. I kind of went for some different type of shades. This line in general is going to be all bright, bold shades. So we're going to kind of get that out of the way. You probably noticed that holding up the packaging. These are intense. These are a little bit out there. The time of release of this is actually fitting because spring is literally around the corner, and then of course summer. We tend to do brighter colors, fun things. We tend to kind of maybe do something different and unexpected for spring and summer, and I'm here for it. So I went with something a little bit different with some of the shades, and we'll kind of get into them. So the shades that I have, I'm going to start off showing you the colors up close. I'm going to start with number 30, which is called Pink Mirage, and this one is a little bit more of like a corally kind of pink shade, which you will see in the swatches. I ordered shade number 31, Hot Pink Summer, and this one is a little bit more, I would say, like a step up from the first one, which is number 30, and this is a little bit deeper. And then I will just show you here a comparison. This is 30 and then 31. So a little bit deeper, a little bit more base of pink tone to it. And then I ordered 32, which is called Lilac Clouds, and that is that really pretty lilac cool tone shade. And then shade number 33, which is called Berry Brunch, and that one is very deep, kind of like a berry color. It looks more of a wine type of shade in the packaging. So I went with something a little different. I typically go for those kind of pinky shades, kind of pinky corals, but I also wanted to kind of try more lavender lilac shades, so that's why I ordered shade number 32. And then I thought I'd do something different, just kind of changing it up, and I ordered the 33, which is the Berry Brunch. That one is the deepest of the 4 that I own. So let's go ahead and get into each one individually. Shade number 30 is the Pink Mirage, and these are, like I said, very, very bright. And this one has more of a kind of like a fluorescent, kind of neon orange tone to it. I do see a little bit of pink, and you will see that mostly when you blend this out. Now, the swatch that you see in the demo clips and also just me showing it to you right now, you're not going to use that much. These, you don't need too much. I like how it's extremely pigmented, but when you start blending out shade number 30, you will start to pick up those hints of pink to it. But I feel like this one leans more of like a kind of corally. There's quite a bit of like an orangey undertone to it. So it's a very warm and very bold kind of shade. Also, another side note to know about these, they do stain. So if you do swatch them or use your hand as a palette to blend products onto your brush, you will see that they do stain your fingers, they stain the back of your hand. So keep that in mind when you're selecting your brush as well to use for blending. So I like this shade. Back to number 30. This one is actually really pretty. Now, if you go to 31, which is the Hot Pink Summer, and I will show you a comparison between those two, you will see how 30 is more orangey, and then 31, the Hot Pink Summer, still has a little bit of orange to it. But what's interesting about this shade number 31 is that when you continue to blend this out, you definitely will start to pick up the hints of pink to it. So I was expecting something a little bit more on the actual pink. I was thinking more of a bright, kind of like a fuchsia kind of pink, that sort of intensity. This is, I think, very close to number 30. So if you buy 30 and you think, hey, 31 might be a little bit deeper, it might be a little different, they're not that different. They're very close. So this is 31 here blended out on the back of my hand, and right next door is number 30. So 30 is just a little lighter. You can definitely see more of that corally vibe to it. And here is the one that has the more kind of pinky undertone and more pink base. So if you continue to blend this out, you will start to see that more pink coming through, which is the hot pink summer. So maybe there you can kind of see what I'm talking about. They're pretty close. And again, the more you blend this out and shear this out on your hand, the more the pink comes through, which I do like. Out of the two shades, I think I like the hot pink summer the best, but 30, the pink Mirage, is really, really pretty. Different. Again, these are very bright, so these are something that you would have to use very lightly. So again, the amount that I'm using in these swatches, just to kind of clarify, is not the amount that I would typically wear. I want you to be able to see the colors in its truest form and as intense as you can get it, so you can get an accurate read on the actual tone, the undertones, and then see how this blends. So of course I had to kind of tone these down because they are pretty bright against my fair skin. Now if you have more medium tan, deeper skin, you're not going to have that much of a contrast as someone like myself with more fair skin. So again, something to note, these are very bright and bold. And then let's go into the more kind of purpley tones, 32 and 33. So let's start with shade number 32. This is the shade called Lilac Clouds. And this one is actually a really pretty kind of cool tone lilac shade, which I think is really nice. And this is the swatch there. I will show you. This here is a contour product, so let me take that off. So that is shade number 32. And when you blend this out, you do retain that sort of lilac tone to it, and it's actually really, really pretty on its own. So I did the same thing using 32 on one side, which is the lilac shade, 33 on the opposite cheek on the same day, so you can see both of these being applied and how they look and what the differences are. So I like 32. I think this is that classic kind of very cool tone lilac, and I have that actually layered over a more pink, like a cool tone pink shade, and I actually put this over a powder and it blended out really nicely. As I said, this is what I'm wearing. I kind of layered the cream over powder. No issues with blending. Again, noting that the amount that I use in the demo swatches that I filmed a few days ago, those are very intense. You do not need that much. I want to stress that very intensely. You don't need too much because these, once they set, they do stay on and they don't fade or move around at all. Let's go into shade number 33. This is the Berry Brunch. This is the one that was kind of a little bit like a hit or miss for me, because when I see this packaging in front of me, it looks like a very deep kind of wine shade, right? So let me swatch this so we can kind of compare. So when you swatch this out, you do see those kind of purple tones. But here, when you start to blend, let me show you here. When you start to blend, you kind of dilute that kind of plummy berry tone. You still see it, but you kind of start to see a little bit more pink coming through. Do you see that? Where it's a little bit purple, but the more you blend, the more that pink base comes out. So it is a little bit brighter. I would say it's kind of, the thought in mind when I see this kind of shade is kind of like a grapey type of shade and not quite as deep as I thought. So it's called Berry Brunch. So, you know, it is kind of in that purple kind of berry family. But as you can see here, this is the color in the component, which looks more wine. And then here is the swatch blended out on the back of my hand. So you do see that more kind of berry, kind of purpley grape tone to it. Not quite as deep and like a wine or like a deep plum that you would want to use, let's say, for the wintertime when it's more cold outside. This one has a little bit of brightness to it, especially when you start to blend, and it does stain. So again, keep that in mind. So I do like these sort of cool tone type of shades. That lilac is really pretty. And the berry one, like I said, it was kind of hit or miss because I was expecting it to be actually a little bit deeper. And I was actually pleasantly surprised how it had a little bit more pink to it. And here's the hand that I swatched those two shades. I took it off with a paper towel, and that's the staining that I'm talking about. And then here is the one with the orange. So you can see that they have some real intensity with the pigment, and they do really grab onto the skin and stay on. So I do like both of these. Out of these two, 32 and 33, I think I prefer the way 32 looks on me, that lilac shade. It's different, something unexpected. My old self would have just walked right past a shade like this, but this is actually really pretty, very interesting, and it's something that I'm actually wanting to try and use, and I'm happy I bought them. Now, my overall thoughts, as you can see, like I said, I have some of these on today, the 32 over the powder. It blends out really nicely, has some pigment, it's easy to use. Now these, since they are so bold, I would say it's something that you have to be careful with the amount that you use. They're beautiful. It's a great formula, and it's the same as the formula with the shimmer in it. They blend just the same and they look beautiful. Never really have any issues personally with blending and longevity. It's showing up on my skin, so I do like that. And if you have shade Blazing Blush 05 in the original formula with shimmer and you were thinking, how does that compare to 32, the Lilac Clouds? They are quite different. So this is that light kind of pastel pink with the shimmer. Here's that new matte shade, just to kind of throw out a shade comparison there. I don't have anything from the shimmer line that compares to these. And these are probably one of the boldest, if not the boldest blushes that I own. And they're really pretty. I do like how it adds like a fun, unexpected twist to my makeup look. I hope that this review gave you some information that you needed, was able to let you see these colors, and I will be using these in some tutorials. So if you want to see a shade specifically in an upcoming tutorial, let me know. I can do maybe a YouTube short. I could do a long form content type of tutorial here with some of these. Like I said, you will be seeing these again. They're beautiful. Just tread softly, and I love the matte finish. I don't see this too drying on the skin, which is great. I think they did a wonderful job. So anyways, that's my 2 cents with this new formula. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that seeing them swatch and blended the demo gave you all the information that you needed to determine whether or not this is a pass or a buy for you. It's going to be listed and linked for you down below. So thanks for being here, for watching, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.